Hello and welcome to our Monday Night Education Calls. Today is July 29th, 2019, and I'm here with my colleague Tracy Podolsky to talk
Hello.
to you about Cassia Oil. Cassia is a very exciting oil. I think I happen to really like it. I have some good experiences with it. And Tracy is going to talk to us tonight about the physical benefits of Cassia, and then I'm going to talk to you about the emotional benefits. So I'm going to pass over the baton to Tracy to lead us on the physical benefits. Take it over, Tracy.
Okay, thanks, Jeannie. Hello, everyone. Cassia. This is one that reminds me so much of the winter time, and I'm going to tell you how I've used it most so far. But it's also known, Cassia, as cassia bark or Chinese cinnamon. I like that. Cassia is often used as a powdered spice for the curries in India, where it's earned the name false cinnamon. So it has a very similar aroma to cinnamon. To me, it's definitely spicier. It smells a little spicier. The essential oil is produced through steam distillation from the plant's leaves, the bark, and the twigs. So some of the common physical properties that it has is it's highly antiseptic. So when you look at in the back of your Modern Essentials book, okay, in the very back, there's an appendix, and it goes over two different appendix. Appendix A is the body system chart. And what's interesting is this one is known for its benefits with the immune system. But then when you look at the essential oil properties chart in the back of the book, they give you little plus signs. So they'll tell you, a lot of these essential oils are highly antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. But this one specifically, Cassia, is the most antiseptic other than its sister, cinnamon bark. So both of them are highly antiseptic. When you look up in the Modern Essentials book, the common primary uses are antiseptic, which has a lot of research on it. So, the little bookmark next to the uses, you can look up in the back of that section the actual research articles. So if you're nerdy like us, you can look that up and see the details. And then the other primary use is cooking. So with Cassia, this is one of the oils, which is a hot oil. So you do want to be careful. You can use it all three ways: aromatically, topically, and internally. But when using it topically, it's a hot oil. So you always, always, always want to dilute. And everything that I'm reading about it as well is that you want to really dilute it. I mean, I know some of the other hot oils like oregano, it's dilution, but Cassia can be really irritating to the mucosal membranes. So this isn't one you're going to want to drop under your tongue. This is the one that you can put in, let's say, like different lotions and creams, and very highly diluted when using it as an antiseptic. It also has higher antibacterial and antifungal properties, as well as anti-inflammatory. So when using it internally, you can use it in your cooking. So this is the one that you're going to want to open up the bottle and stick a toothpick in the little orifice, because it really, again, some of these really strong, potent oils can ruin a recipe. But something that has cinnamon, like I used this last winter in an oats recipe. It had like apples, fresh organic apples and oats, and it was in the crock pot. So I just stirred in a little bit of cassia. That was a really nice one. The other thing I've used it for is in tea. But again, you really have to be careful because of the potency of it. It blends well with all of like the oranges. So orange, like the citrus oils, frankincense, cypress. Let's see. Medicinally, in history, it's been used for colic. So colic, colds, diarrhea, nausea, kidney, and any reproductive complaints. But again, we want to be careful because using this can be extremely sensitive to the skin if you're not diluting it properly. And just as another safety concern, this is one you wouldn't want to use if you're pregnant. Okay. This is one you're going to put aside, that and even cinnamon bark. Those are the two that you're not going to want to use during pregnancy. So let's say some other common uses are arthritis, colds and flu, fever, gas pains. This is a great one. If you want to have a roller for it and heavily dilute it, maybe even 5 or 6 drops in a 10 milliliter bottle, and use it over those areas. Like sometimes I remember after I think it was Cole, I had a C-section, and afterwards I was, can't get out of bed, flat back, the whole family was in the room. And I just remember having this really sharp pain in my upper back. They kept pumping me with more. Oh, it was Cole, because I was more aware when I had Nella. They kept pumping me with more pain medication, and I barely could even breathe. It ended up being gas all the way up my upper shoulder blade. Do I wish I had Cassia during that moment? Because I thought I was going to die. And here's the birth of my first child, and everyone's rejoicing, and I have gas in my upper scapular area. So, always have your oils, because you never really know when you're going to need them. Let's see. So one of the main things that I've used Cassia for, I love using this for winter like sprays. We did a lot for little stocking stuffers during Christmas. Cassia was the main ingredient for all of these different cute little holiday blends for the bathrooms or the kitchen or even the diffuser, but I put them as little stocking stuffers. So I use pretty much a whole bottle, because I got a bunch of different spray bottles and made different blends. But Cassia, because of that cinnamon aroma, it really is a nice Christmassy blend. So I use this a lot during that, as well as my winter recipes. And the diffuser is it makes that warm, like cinnamon. What is that place I don't eat at anymore? Cinnabon. Oh, it's such a nice warm aroma to use in your diffuser. So I'm going to pass it on over to Jeannie, because I'm really interested to see if you'd like to add on any physical benefits, because this is one I don't use a lot. And I have a feeling that you're going to know a couple more with the digestive at the very least.
Of course I do. You know me. I always have some funny story to tell you, so here I am. I love Cassie, and I'm pretty glad you covered the gas conversation for me, because I usually get that dirty stuff. But I love Cassia for so many reasons, and I will admit I didn't even think of Cinnabon, because we've been gluten-free for so long, but I am so covetous of those things when I go into the mall, and they smell so good, but oh my God. But I will say Cassie is a warming oil, and I did run to get a tissue, and I don't know if you said anything about that, but it's amazing for, like, if you love this aroma, to actually use for a massage. Oh my gosh, especially in the winter. But I happen to really just love and embrace that cinnamon aroma. So for me, I can't think of anything I'd rather do than have a massage and just walk out smelling like Cassia, because I just adore the aroma of cinnamon or Cassia. And it's funny because you're calling it the sister, but I call it the cousin of cinnamon, which is funny. I've always said that. Cassia is a cousin to cinnamon. So I do love it for those things. For the things you discussed, for, all of those things. And I also know that when you look up, it's kind of interesting, but I want to say kidney support, that Cassia comes up, which is super interesting. You didn't
like
say
kidney
that.
And reproductive.
You did say that. Okay. I couldn't remember if you said that, or maybe that was when I ran to get my tissue. But, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. And I know that when you have a condition that where your kidneys are affected, you can use Cassia and just massage it over the area for balancing. So I love that. that's a nice way to use that if you happen to have it. And again, I like the aroma. But I also love to use it. I'm going to move into emotional, but I make a dish that is an apple raisin, like nuts that I cook down into like a super chunky kind of a consistency of oatmeal, but it's only those three things, apples, raisins, and nuts that are soaked. And then I cook it down with a little bit of water, and I use pumpkin pie spice, and I put in cassia oil, and I absolutely love it. I eat it year round. I think it's delicious. Sometimes in the winter I'll warm it up, but I'll eat it cold in the summer. So I love using cassia for that. And you're right, you really use like not even half a drop. So you dip in a toothpick and you stir it in, and it's, you can do it one by one, and you actually have to throw out that toothpick and use a fresh one if you're going back into the bottle to get more, because, for obvious reasons, you don't want to reuse it. But I absolutely just love that, that aroma and the flavor and everything. So, but I would like to move on and talk about the cassia as an emotional oil. So we know that every essential oil in our collection has an emotional benefit, because essential oils have the ability to not just affect our body systems, but also our emotions through our sense of smell and touching on our cell receptors in our brain, which are the limbic system. So of course I love cassia. I don't know, like I'm at the point now where, like, if I walk into like AC Moore or Michael's and it's the holiday season and I used to love those like cinnamon brooms, and now I'm like, turn it off, because I know it's a fake, chemical aroma. I want to make my own cinnamon broom. I don't know how, but I bet Leah does. So we'll talk about that, Leah, Mrs. Crafty. But anyway, I love knowing that I can use an oil to take me back to another time or place or memory. And that's what cassia does for me. But in addition to that, there's also just the whole emotional piece that when used in a diffuser or applied diluted on the bottom of your feet, or to maybe over your heart, which is a space that I love to apply oils when I'm using them to support my emotions, because like the gut brain connection, so is there a heart brain connection. We've got the three brains, and I feel the heart is totally interconnected there. So when I want an oil to support me emotionally, I love to put it over my heart. And that's what I would do with my cassia. So cassia is the oil of self-assurance. It brings gladness and courage to the heart and soul. And hang on, before I go on, I want to remind you, because if you're new to our Monday night education calls, you know that Tracy, whoever's doing physical, usually uses the Modern Essentials Handbook. And then I've got our Emotions and Essential Oils Reference Guide for Emotional Healing. And I absolutely love this book. So that's where I'm getting my cassia information. And of course, I just lost my page because, that's how I roll. But anyway, emotionally, cassia is a wonderful remedy for the shy and timid. It helps those who hold back and try to hide. When a person avoids being the center of attention, cassia can restore their confidence. Similar to cinnamon, I'll call it a cousin, cassia dispels fear and replaces it with self-assurance. It challenges individuals to try even when they're afraid of making mistakes. And I don't know about you, but like that's totally me. And I know so many people who are like perfectionists to the point where if they don't think they're going to do it right or well or 100%, they won't try. And you know what? Cassia is going to get you to a place of progress, not perfection. 75% is good enough. So by using cassia, it might help you to like kickstart into that space of not waiting till it's 100%, till it's perfection. Just do it. Just jump in with both feet, whatever it is. And I love that. It aids those who feel foolish by helping them see their own brilliance. It supports the soul in seeing its own value and potential. Cassia assists individuals in discovering their innate gifts and talents. So it's all very much about really self-confidence, self-assurance, recognizing your value, kind of cultivating your own gifts. I love this. It invites them to let their light shine and live from their true self. So, hey, don't hide your light under a bushel, but take it out and let the world see it, right? What good is it if you're not sharing it? So we all have these beautiful gifts, and whatever yours is, get that cassia on your heart. Get it on the back of your neck. Get it in your diffuser. Put it in the palm of your hands, just like this. It couldn't be more simple. a drop on the palm of your hands, rub them together, and just take a deep breath. You don't even have to really cup it close around your nose. You know, this is a strong one. I'm going inches away here. Close your eyes and just take a deep breath and take it in deep. Feel it all the way in. You want to actually feel your lower belly. We learned this when we learned about managing our pain with meditation last week. So you want to take a deep breath and feel your belly fill with air and hold it and then release it and then do it again with your Cassia to really get the full emotional benefits. So the negative emotions that you're going to help to dispel and move away from are embarrassed, hiding, fearful, humiliated, insecure, judged, shy, or worthless. And the positive properties that we're going to touch on are courageous, self-assured, unashamed, confident, valued, and authentic. And imagine that, but you know what? Other people see you that way already. If you can help to push yourself into that space, you're there. You just need to just go ahead and feel that confidence by just grabbing the Cassia and inhaling deeply, getting into your diffuser, getting it onto your palm, getting it over your heart, getting it onto your feet. And another thing that I think is so interesting is when you look at the suggested uses in the emotions book, it talks about inhaling from the bottle or diffusing, and it says topically you can use a drop or less with a carrier oil and apply over your solar plexus, which is your upper stomach, or on the bottom of your feet. Now, what I think is super cool about that is there's a chakra that corresponds with your solar plexus. And it's the solar plexus chakra. I'm trying to think, but I want to say it's the third chakra. It's the top of your abdomen. And it's all in also, it's the third chakra. It's also related to your, hang on a second. Now I opened this and then it closed on me. It's the center of energy associated with ego. It's a source of personal power, self-belief, and self-worth. So that chakra is completely related to the description of the Cassia, the oil of self-assurance in the emotions book. So by applying it over your solar plexus, you're deepening the benefit, the emotional benefit of this oil. And if you're someone who really resonates with chakras, this is an amazing way to go ahead and just open that up for yourself. This is just an added benefit of Cassia. Now, I happen to just love, like I said, I love the aroma of this. So this is wonderful. So if you're someone who would benefit from this oil, go ahead, add it to your LRP for next month, put it in in your cart and check it out. You can use it for cooking. You can use it to prevent healthy heart health. You can use it to support your immune system just by throwing it in your diffuser. You can add it to enhance the aroma of your On Guard and throw in a little drop of wild orange. I happen to love Cassia with cedarwood and wild orange. It smells like an oatmeal cookie baking in your oven. So if you want to have that amazing warm baking aroma in your home, go ahead and throw those guys in. And while you're at it, you're just going to be like, I am so awesome. I have totally increased my vibe, my love for myself, my self-worth, my self-assurance is friggin' soaring. So go ahead and do that. If you are listening tonight, I just want to remind you that we have a BOGO tomorrow, July 30th of 2019. These calls are going to be archived, but in case you're on and you're paying attention to this, I just want to remind you that if you buy spearmint oil, you're going to get 2 oils. That's a BOGO plus. You're going to get tangerine and lemon. So you're going to spend $28 for this and get $25 worth of free oils and 2 extra oils, which are amazing. And what I noticed when looking at companion oils for Cassia, I see that spearmint's there. And by the way, so is clove. So I think that's awesome because there's a bunch of others as well, but clove is an On Guard. So that just makes a beautiful aroma when you put those guys together. So anyway, I want to say thank you so much for joining us this great Monday night. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself in Essentially Sure, or to Tracy in the Mythic Health page, or if you or group, and if you have any other questions, or if you can reach anybody else on your team, by all means. I mean, we all have different uplines. Feel comfortable with reaching out to us, but also know that any of our team members are happy to answer questions for you. So with that, I will say good night and thank you.